Hello, this is Carly Stoughton, your host of this week's edition of Get the Why for ACI, where we discuss why we are going to look at microsegmentation as a solution with Cisco ACI. Welcome to episode 1. First off, we want to set the stage, make sure we understand why we have segmentation in the data center. We've always had the requirement to isolate applications from one another. Right? I need to keep these applications in their own policy zone or segment. And the way we've traditionally done that is by using our VLANs and subnets. I would provide a different VLAN and its corresponding subnet to each application or each tier of an application. Then what we would do is to apply policy, we would go up to the routed layer, and here we would create things like access lists in order to define who can talk to who and what they're allowed to talk about. Or with that complexity, though, a lot of folks tried to centralize that configuration instead of to a number of devices or routers, tried to centralize that policy onto a set of firewalls. Now, the problem with this is these policies become unmanageable, especially if we have a lot of access lists and firewall rules as we scale, and firewalls can be a bottleneck for our east-west traffic, which makes up a huge chunk of traffic these days in our data center. So this hinders us from deploying applications faster, which is ultimately where we want to head with the modern data center. So how are we going to solve this problem and perform this in a next-generation approach? We're going to look at segmentation. So here I have an ACI fabric. I've got various types of servers running. Very important that we support all of these hypervisors in addition to bare metal servers. So I've got VMware, Hyper-V, and bare metal running. And we're running just a simple app here that consists of a group of web servers and a group of app servers. So what I do with an ACI to define policies, I create these application profiles that define who's out there, who can talk to who, and what they can talk about. So I do that by grouping devices that need similar treatment into the same group. Devices that need different treatment go into a different group. And then I apply policy in between via a contract that says this is what they're allowed to talk about, and app is allowed to talk to web. So that's how we can restrict what traffic is actually going through our data center from more of a whitelist approach for the different segments or applications that exist in our infrastructure. So this helps deliver automation of policies from a north-south and east-west perspective. And we can do this across hypervisors and bare metal servers using the same profile. And then we could insert services additionally in here. Maybe I require some firewalling between my web and app. I can do that in line in the contract. To further segment, we can do what's called microsegmentation. And microsegmentation allows me to do things like put things into these endpoint group buckets based on VM attributes. So things like a virtual MAC address on a VNet, things like a OS type that's running, or VM name, or just some examples that we have. The way that you could use this is, let's say I have some servers that I've identified, an operating system that needs a patch. Maybe Windows Server 2008 R2 specifically has a vulnerability or bug that's been discovered. What I can do is I can have a quarantine endpoint group, and I can say all of the VMs that are running X operating system, Windows Server 2008 R2, put those in the quarantine EPG until we patch those servers. We could also use this for these VM attributes. Maybe I have some production web servers and I have some dev test web servers. I could do based on VM name. So I could say have a group for production web and dev web. But maybe when dev is ready to move into production, all I would have to do is change the name of the virtual machine, and that endpoint would then be put into the production web with no changes on the ACI side. So by providing these microsegments, we have a lot of flexibility for how we can sort these VMs and how we can apply our policy in new ways within ACI and data center as a whole. And all of these features are available today within ACI, the ability to do these microsegments on both VMware and Hyper-V servers. And none of this requires a license. All of this is available. So in summary, microsegmentation is available for all workloads regardless of where they're running. We can support both the native VMware distributed switch and Cisco application virtual switch. No licenses for microsegmentation, and your services can be physical and virtual. So we can do both perimeter security, maybe with physical appliances, and then intra-data center firewalling, we could use virtual appliances. Thank you for watching. Get the Why for ACI episode 1. Tune in next week for the next episode. Be sure to check out the blog and corresponding demo as well. Thank you.